Hello, friends. Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my goals and tasks for the month of November in my agenda planner. So let's get playing. And I've got a couple of brush pens here that I used on this month's theme, as well as my friction marker, which I'll be using for writing things down. So you can see that the theme is already set up for my monthly goals and weekly tasks sheet, which is available in my shop if you're interested. And I pulled out my quarter 4 goals to reference for these first 3 goals that I'll be setting up for the month. So my first goal on my quarterly goals is my work goal of working on my Squared Plans branding and social channels. So I'm pulling out one of the monthly tasks from that, which is to focus on an overarching topic each month. And this month I've decided it's going to be a DIY November. So I'll be trying to produce videos that are related to that theme just to create some interest and adjust a bit more of my Squared Plans branding. What I'll be doing is filming one video each week related to the monthly theme. Usually put out 2 videos, so one of those videos each week will be related to the DIY November theme. I will be utilizing and refining workflows to streamline my production. Been trying to change things up and move things around, utilizing these new workflows, maybe a little bit of AI if need be, so that I can produce more efficiently will be on the task list. And then finally, I need to make sure I'm making time for this goal. So I will be time blocking my schedule and building in some pre-planning time for this new goal. I'm thinking about 1 to 3 hours per week for that pre-planning process. So that'll be my first monthly goal. And like I said, it is related to my quarterly goals, just breaking it down a little bit more into actionable steps. My second goal will be a fitness goal, again, pulled from my quarterly goals. I've been really working on getting stronger this quarter, as well as losing a bit of fat if I can at the same time. So a little bit of body recompositioning. So this month's goal is basically going to be the same as last month's goal, which is to lose 1 pound of body fat and to lift 10% more volume. Trying to lift heavier and lift more, seeing if that helps grow my muscles. But I need to also be mindful of some other things while I'm doing this process. So the first step will be to schedule and complete 3 to 4 heavy lift sessions and 3 to 4 endurance lift sessions each week. That's what I've been doing so far, and it's been working. I've been seeing changes in my body, so I'm pretty excited about that. Of course, though, I will need to track nutrition, stats, and then also the volume lifted daily. So if I'm lifting heavy, I usually will track the volume. Endurance sessions, I don't really track as much, but I want to keep track overall of how I'm doing and how much volume I'm lifting each week. And then finally, I'll need to review my body stats and progress weekly to adjust as needed to see those goals met. I will be moving, if I haven't mentioned that before, back to California this week, the week that this comes out. So I might be there already by the time you see this video. A lot of changes too that I'm going to be having to adjust and maintain throughout this month's goals process, but hopefully I can adjust pretty quickly and get back to a routine. So with that, my third goal is actually going to be outside of my quarterly goals. My third goal last month was to work on my photo editing and then also to create some projects from that because I'm taking a class. But the class is a little bit easier, I guess, and a little bit less project focused than I thought. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave last month's goal behind and related to that quarterly goal there at the bottom and switch it up. So I'm going to do another work goal and try to resize 3 resizable files in my shop to the 5 size format. I know a lot of people like those files. but maybe would like it in some various sizes. So I'm going to try and do that this month while I have a little bit of extra time. I'm going to be working on one resizable file each week, and then I'm going to take off week 4 since that's Thanksgiving week. I'm going to schedule 4 to 6 hours each week to complete those tasks, and then create some new file sizes, listing descriptions, and images for each resizable file. There's a lot that goes on when I do adjust a file, even if it's already created. So I got to make sure that I hit all those marks each week so that I can list the files and have them ready to go in my shop. So pretty much done with the quarterly goals now. My 4th goal is going to be exactly how it was last month. It is going to be a productivity goal. And wow, that highlighting was really bad, but oh well. I plan to kind of carry forward what I've been doing the last few months, which is to research and develop artificial intelligence workflows for efficiency. I know there's so many new tools out there and it's just blowing up. And if there's a way that I can make my life more efficient, less repetitive, and do things quicker, I'm all about that life. So I'm going to try and do some more research on AI tools and uses, build out and test some new production workflows in real life, see if they work for me. Some have not. I've tried a few that I had thought would work really great, and then they just really didn't work out. So that testing it in real life really makes a difference. And then I plan to set aside 2 hours weekly for those tasks. I think that's enough time, but we will see. This one isn't going to be a high priority goal. It's just going to be something I fit in when time allows. So I've already set up my weekly task sheet with the week date breakdown. And basically, this process now is going to be pulling directly from these monthly goals, looking at the tasks I need to do, and breaking them out into weekly tasks. The first couple that I'm writing in here is about the DIY November video series. I'll need to pre-plan for those videos, film and post those videos, as well as continue filming and posting my standard videos each week. So I want to have those 3 down on the list. I also have from the fitness goal to start by lifting 3 heavy and 3 light lift workouts each week. And then I want to remember to check my body stats and weekly volume so I can adjust as needed. For goal 3, I need to resize and list 1 resizable file each week. And then finally, my 4th goal, to research AI tools and uses I'll have for week 1 to get me started. So basically, a lot of these are going to be the same from week to week. I'm going to make some small adjustments on how heavy and light I'm lifting on which days. So I'm just going to write those in real quick. I'll start off pretty simply on the first 2 weeks as I get settled, and then go a little bit heavier on week 3, and then probably on week 4 as well. I'm not real sure exactly how my schedule is going to work out quite yet, but that will be my goal for the month. I also want to check those stats each week. So hopefully my new gym will have a way to do that. The gym that I'm at now has a nice little body composition machine that I could just do real quick. But I don't remember if the gym that I'm going back to has something like that. So hopefully they do, because I really like getting that feedback that tells you more than just your body weight, gives you like your lean muscle mass, body fat percentages, and so on. So hopefully I can do that. I've also added in the building out and testing of AI workflows for week 2 and week 3, again related to that 4th goal. Writing in a few things now into the December column, scheduling out next month's theme for that very first quarterly goal, and then changing up my routine for my second quarterly goal, that fitness goal, hopefully in December. Since I have that extra week down there that's kind of empty and it doesn't really fall within November, or I'm just calling that December to help guide me for next month's goals. So now there's going to be a lot of repetitive writing. So I'm just going to basically be writing down the same things I had on week 1 with the DIY video and standard video production, as well as checking those body stats and anything else there that's related to those goals. I do have a few spaces left over each week, which I will be including any large, very time-consuming tasks so that I can build those into my schedule and kind of see how the week is going to fan out for goal production. That's the best way I found so far to really find time in my schedule to do all the things and also be reasonable with my time. If I know I have a huge freelance project due one week, then I know that that week's goals need to be adjusted and modified for maybe the next week, and so on and so forth. And I know that first week I'm going to have a freelance project, so I've wrote in sending in new logos, as well as we will be unpacking, which will take a lot of time as well. So I just need to plan around those things. So that is it, friends, my monthly and weekly goal setting system. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye.